Welcome to this session hosted by William Paterson University's Cotsakos College of Business. I send you warm regards and greetings from our interim dean, Sue Godar, and she asked me to host this meeting today. My name is Martin Gritsch, and I am the interim associate dean in the Cotsakos College of Business. First of all, we hope that you and your loved ones are safe during these challenging times. We would have loved to welcome you on our beautiful Wayne campus, 370 acres of a very nice campus, but unfortunately that is not possible currently. So thank you for joining us remotely today. I would just like to speak to you about some of the highlights that we have in the Cotsakos College of Business. It starts with the AACSB accreditation. AACSB International is the premier accrediting body for business schools worldwide. It's a small percentage of business schools worldwide that are accredited by AACSB. And in a nutshell, what it means is that students who go to an AACSB accredited business programs will receive a quality business education. That is what it comes down to. And it includes things like who teaches those classes? Are these individuals qualified? Do they have the right background? And almost more importantly, do they stay current in their field? So AACSB takes a close look at what we do on an ongoing basis. And we're happy to say that we have been AACSB accredited for the last 15 years. We have excellent faculty. They know their stuff, you might say. A lot of them have industry experience. So it's not just teaching from textbooks. It really involves a lot of real life experience, case studies, group projects, similar things. And when I say supportive faculty, it's not just the claim. We do alumni survey. So we ask individuals who graduated from our programs, how was it? What did you like? What maybe could have been better? And one of the things that we consistently get the highest scores on is on the supportive faculty, the professors who really care. They want students to do well. And we would love for you to join us in September. Of course, you would experience that firsthand. We have a beautiful facility at 1600 Valley Road. It's a couple of miles away from the main campus. There's regular shuttle bus service going back and forth throughout the day. And that is what's shown in the picture. Has a nice cafeteria overlooking a pond, but more importantly, there's nice technology and facilities included in that building. We have the Financial Learning Center that's in the heart of the building, which has data streams that the professionals on Wall Street use. We teach our students how to use Bloomberg terminals. And similarly, there's the Raspberry Professional Sales Lab on the ground floor, where whenever we host a competition, which we do annually with groups of students and their professors from around the country and some international schools as well. And they always are impressed by our facilities. And we also would like for you to experience that, of course. We have close ties to industry. That is true for all the programs that we have. But in some areas in particular, I mentioned professional sales, financial planning is another one, where students work very closely, maybe do internships and have specific job fairs and things like that of that major. And we always keep an eye on getting students ready for what comes after college, which is hopefully a good job, and any networking opportunity and ties to the industry obviously help with that. And I'll speak more to the opportunities to get involved in one of the upcoming slides. There's a lot of things, and we always encourage students to do that. So this is a list of the undergraduate majors. When you take a look at that, arguably all the things that you could expect in a business school, what you could get a degree in, we offer something in any of those areas. You see the full list here, but there are some things I would like to highlight. And really the overarching theme is that the programs that we have, they always keep in mind what comes after students' graduation. And in most cases, possibly all cases, that means a job, a good job, a well-paying job. So for example, the accounting program is geared towards the CPA exam, the certified, the CPA exam for accounting majors. For the financial planning students, the almost equivalent designation would be the CFP, the Certified Financial Planner. For finance students, you see we have the general finance degree, but as the small bullet point indicates, there's also new concentration in credit analysis and commercial banking. And this is something that we created based on input from and with help, and some of them teach in that program from banking professionals. They felt there was need in that area. We sat down with them, we developed this program, and it fits nicely within the overall finance major. So if someone wants to get that additional credential in that area, they can. The global business major is a very innovative program where students take international and global courses such as global marketing and international management from the different business disciplines. And again, in management and marketing, you see how we have created those concentrations within the major because it's very often quite specialized what employers look for. So if someone wants to go into human resources, they can get that designation by taking the correct coursework to have a concentration in human resource management, and the same is true for the other fields that you see listed here. Finally, professional sales, and I'll speak more to that in a moment. A really unique program. It was the first full degree program at an ASCSB accredited business school in the country when we first created that a number of years ago. And you also see that we offer a Bachelor of Arts degree in economics, which is near and dear to my heart because my PhD actually is in economics. I will also say, and I'll come back to that in a slightly different way in a moment, there's a lot of opportunities to combine these degrees so that you could have a double major or a major and a minor in something and things like that. And there are people here to help you navigate all that because it can seem a little overwhelming, and I'll come back to that, but really something to keep in mind that there's a lot of options in addition to what you see on this slide. So real quick about two programs that we have, financial planning and professional sales. It is rare, if it even exists anywhere at all, that a school has programs in both those areas. And we highlight them because it's often things that are not as familiar to new incoming students as accounting or finance, for example, might be. But those two programs, financial planning and professional sales, are wonderful opportunities. Students work closely with professionals. They can do an internship while they're in college. And oftentimes those networking connections, they lead to full-time employment in well-paying job afterwards. So if you're not entirely sure what that is, I have my email address at the end. Feel free to send me an email. I'll provide you with more information and or get you in touch with the right people in those programs. But really something to keep in mind. And again, I highlight that because they're not the more traditional majors. So I want to make sure that you're aware that we have them and that you please explore them and talk to your advisor about it once you come to campus, because they are programs where students get great jobs after they graduate. So this is where it gets a little technical, but I'll be brief. This is the overview of what students have to complete to earn a degree in one of the business fields we just looked at. So overall, it's 120 credits. That's a very common number for a four-year degree, for a bachelor's degree. And it's broken down into what we call the university core curriculum, 40 credits. That is what often is called general education. And we feel that's important because students need to have this broad-based knowledge. And in addition to that, a major that varies depending on which of the fields you go into, between 60 and 66 credits. But there's also a language requirement. We feel it's important that our graduates are well-rounded. Hence, typically 2 courses in a foreign language, Spanish, Italian, Arabic, any of those, and there's many other options as well. And students take 4 courses that are designated as writing intensive. Sometimes they are within the major, but we want to make sure our students know how to write. And similarly, they have the right technology background. So there's also 2 technology intensive courses that every student takes. And then finally, and again, if this seems a little much, my main point is there's an advisor to help you through all that. You'll meet regularly with that advisor. We're very cognizant of the fact that this seems a little much maybe when you just transition from high school into college, or if you maybe, are coming back to college, whatever your individual situation may be. We want you to do well here, and we have a great support structure in place so that you can do well. And the academic advisor is one of those people, one of the main people really, that you will be in touch with about which degree is the right one for me. Should I add a second major? Should I add a minor? Does that make sense? Where will that take me? And so on and so forth. And along those lines, you'll have those conversations with your advisor to make sure you stay on track. Real quick, if you take 5 courses a semester, broadly speaking, that's demanding but very doable. You will graduate with a bachelor's degree in 4 years. Keep that in mind, please, as your roadmap, as your guide, because we want you to graduate, and we want you to graduate in 4 years, ideally, because graduating earlier than taking 5 or even 5.5 years saves you time and it saves you money. Okay, now the more fun stuff. Our students are very involved in hands-on learning. For example, internships. We had 93 internships that business students did for credit last year. And here's just some of the examples of the companies that they were involved in, some very big names. There's also smaller firms. It's really A lot of it is up to the student where they want to do the internship, how it fits best within their major. And again, the advisor is there to assist you. We also have a designated person in the dean's office that helps students to get the internship set up and so on. Strongly encouraged, so something to keep in mind, usually beginning of junior year roughly. So it's nothing that you need to rush into, but definitely something to keep in mind. Similarly, we have a lot of networking events. I mentioned some of them earlier. Some of them are geared towards specific majors, but we also have a big event that's for the entire business school. We have a summer boot camp that includes scholarships. Always welcome, right? We'll have to see how that works out this year. Planning is underway. We're hoping that everything will be able to deliver as usual, but obviously we need to see how everything develops with the current situation, when exactly we can go back to campus. But we have moved many events to a virtual environment, and we may be able to do that with that as well, if need be. So we will just have to see how things fall into place. A lot of our students go to competitions. The professional sales and the financial planning students in particular, they have won national championships against well-known universities, really stiff competition, but our students, they're hardworking. They have a professor who works with them, prepares them for those competitions, and we've done generally quite well in those competitions and are very proud of that and are very proud of our students. If a student works on a research project with a professor, there's usually some funding available for them to go to a conference and present the paper. Looks great on any resume and is a wonderful experience. Again, highly encouraged, probably not in your first year, but maybe second or third year. Keep that in mind. There's many, many opportunities. And again, your advisor is often the first person you would have those conversations with about what opportunities exist. We have many clubs and student organizations. That's true university-wide, but also in particular in the College of Business. We have an accounting society, we have a marketing club, we have a chapter of Enactus that used to be known as Students in Free Enterprise. That's maybe a term that some of us are still more familiar with. There's really an abundance of clubs and student life and things students can get involved in. There's a student managed portfolio where an alum donated a sizable amount of money, actual money, for students to invest. And those students, they have an advisory board and they take it very seriously. They have conversations, they have meetings where they discuss their investment strategy, and they have done quite well. And the donor is also interested in how they're doing. So there's that added pressure, but they have really been doing very well and we're proud of that. And it's often students in the finance and financial planning area that get involved in that. But that's not necessary. If a student is in a different major and would like to be part of the student investment, the student managed portfolio, they can also do that. So something to keep in mind, getting involved, I think, is key to a good college experience. Taking classes, doing well in them, yes, of course, it's very important. But having that additional component that you build those ties with professors, with other advisors, with fellow students, that really enriches the experience, and I strongly encourage that. Along those lines, we have a co-curricular program that is expected of all students in the College of Business. We call that the Professional Enrichment Initiative, and as you can see, it involves components that get students ready for the time after college. How do you write a resume? You get the resume critiqued by a professional. You revise the resume. Once it's good, it gets posted in an online database that employers have access to if they're looking for interns or part-time or even full-time employees. And along those lines, soft skills, technology, there's an Excel component built in. Our employers, they expect students how to use Excel when they graduate from college. This is just one part of how we address that, and we make sure that students have those skills once they apply for jobs when they get ready to graduate. Quick pitch. It's never too early to plan ahead. We have a wonderful offering of graduate programs. I know this seems far off at this point probably, but time will probably go by more quickly than you realize. So as you can see here, we have an MBA program that has the general MBA and then 6 specific concentrations: accounting, finance, entrepreneurship management, things like that. It's a wide array of options. And in addition, we've created 2 programs recently that really cater to the market demand. Business analytics is what's often called a hot field. There is so much that gets done with big data nowadays. And if you're interested in that, and if you're strong in math and data and some statistics and computer skills, it all comes together. That's roughly what applied business analytics is, that use the available data, the vast amount of available data, and help businesses make good decisions based on that. Wonderful program. It's not an easy program, but if you're strong in math, I think that would be a great fit. And similarly, the Masters of Science degree in Finance and Financial Services is also a relatively new program that caters a bit more to someone who knows they want to go into finance. If students get an MBA, that's a bit more general, and it's still a great degree to get. But there's been a bit of a trend towards more specialized degrees, and we were responsive to that by creating this new program. So again, it seems far off probably, but it's also good to plan ahead. Similarly, the MBA program is, you might say, tied into the undergraduate program. So students who qualify for that program, that usually means they get good grades, which is what we hope for all of you, of course. Then students in their last year of undergraduate study for their bachelor's degree, they can take 2 MBA courses that count towards the undergraduate degree, but then once they get admitted to the MBA program, they also count towards the MBA program. So it effectively shaves off 2 courses, which is, you know, almost a semester probably. If you look at the tuition rates, how much that would come out to, you save quite a bit of time and money. So I strongly encourage you to look into that. If you're interested in that, you can speak to any advisor or business faculty, or again, my address will be at the end. You can send me an email and get you in touch with the right people so that you become part of this, what we call the 4+1 program, 4 years of undergraduate study plus 1 year of MBA coursework. So in summary, William Paterson offers an excellent and affordable education. I have been here for almost 20 years and I love this place. I think it's a great university, not only to work at, but for our students. People really care and want students to do well. And we have a diverse and welcoming campus community. I can speak a little bit off script here. My 2 oldest daughters go to William Paterson University, and just an hour and a half ago, I asked them, what do you like best about this place? And those were the things that they said. They love it, they're very happy there, it's a great community, and we hope you'll join us in September. We know it's not easy to transition from high school into college. We saw some of the curriculum earlier. It may seem complicated, overwhelming maybe, but there's a lot of help available. One thing that we created just a little over a year ago is this Willpower 101 program, where students work with other students in groups that take several classes a semester together so that you form those social relationships with other students and the instructors who teach those courses. It also involves some workshops just to get students acquainted to college life, to make that transition just a little bit easier. And in addition to that, I can honestly say we have this comprehensive network of support services. There is the advisement center where you will have a dedicated advisor in your first year of study here, and then you get switched over to a faculty advisor in your major. And we have the Career Development Center. In addition to some of the other things we already mentioned, they have a mentoring program. Students, usually second half of sophomore year or junior year, they get matched up with a mentor, a professional in the field that the student wants to enter. Human resource management, accounting, financial planning, whatever it may be, will find someone for you, and you meet regularly with that individual. And you can ask them, so what is that job really like? Can I maybe observe you for a day at your place of work just to get a better sense? Can you give me feedback on my resume? Whatever it may be, those mentors have been tremendously generous with their time and their support because they also care about our students. They're often alums, but not always. And they really are there for students. We obviously also have things like we call the Academic Success Center, which offers tutoring. We have tutoring at the 1600 Valley Road building that you saw on one of the earlier slides where the College of Business is housed. And there's many other services. I think for any need that may come up, there is something that we have in place to help students succeed, which is the ultimate goal that we all have. Finally, just to recap, the Cotsakos College of Business, we are AACSB accredited. Faculty are really, really strong in many ways. And the programs that you'll find are innovative. They follow the market trends, what's really requested. And there's a good chance by the time you graduate in 4 years, we will have added new programs. This is just how quickly these things go. And finally, we do whatever we can that students find good jobs afterwards, which is not the only thing, but it is a very important thing. So I normally would hand out my business cards at this point if we were actually meeting on campus. That is not possible for obvious reasons, but here's my email address. Send me anything. In many cases, I will answer a question directly. In some other cases, I may refer you to one of my colleagues. And as I mentioned before, we hope that this presentation helped just a little bit in helping you make the decision to come to William Paterson in the fall. I think it's a great place. I think you would be very happy with your decision. Any other questions, please send me an email. I'd be happy to answer it. And I had fun hosting this online session. I hope you had fun watching it. And I hope I'll see you at some point on campus in the future. Take care.